Remember the Netflix adaptation of The Witcher? Well, it's coming back for season 2 in a few weeks. A good time for a refresher, cause it's been a while. So here's everything you need to remember. Yennefer? She's dead. Well, the writers want us to believe that, or maybe missing or unconscious after the overpowered fire magic attack on the Nilfgaard army. We all know she'll be fine though. There's too much storyline left for this character to kill her off in the first season like Ned Stark. The series kicks off splat right in the middle of one particular empire's conquest. The timelines jump around a lot, and it isn't always easy to notice because Geralt and Yennefer don't age. But while some backstory for them is sprinkled in through the season, the main conflict is the northern kingdoms trying to defend against Nilfgaard's conquest of all their land. The details of why Nilfgaard wants to topple all the established monarchs and their kingdoms to assimilate into their empire isn't given to us as of yet, but it's coming. We haven't even seen Nilfgaard's emperor. The main face of the opposition has been Cahir, a knight leading the army up until this point. Cahir has been the antagonist hunting down 14-year-old Princess Sorella after her family's kingdom, Centra, falls to Nilfgaard's attack. Sorella, or Siri for short, isn't being chased solely because of her nobility status, threatening Nilfgaard's emperor. Without having to go to Yennefer's terrifying witches' college, Siri has inherited magical powers that are extremely destructive without knowledge on how to control it. Her mother, that we briefly get to see, had the same powers awakened during the scene that Geralt invokes the Law of Surprise, after saving Ciri's father's hedgehog life.
I claim the tradition as you have. The Law of Surprise. Give me that which you already have, but do not know.
No! What have you done, Witcher?
This sort of repayment means Geralt is to get something from Hedgehog Prince that he doesn't know he has. With his soon-to-be wife being pregnant with Ciri, that meant Ciri was to be Geralt's by this fictional world's laws. Witchers become sterile during their training process that involves some chemicals and magic. A trait that he shares with Yennefer, except she willingly gave up the chance of reproduction for eternal youth and beauty in the show. In the books, it's a little more complicated. Geralt was never given a choice in the matter. His mother, who's the magic healing user we briefly see when Geralt is injured, left her newborn at a Witcher's headquarters to undergo this training to become a monster hunter for hire. Ciri's grandmother, Queen Calantha, who threw herself out of a window instead of being captured by Nilfgaard invaders, had no interest in giving up her heir to Geralt, despite how serious the Law of Surprise is taken in this universe. But with no one else to protect the 14-year-old princess, Queen Calantha tells Ciri to seek out Geralt because he's her destiny. That word comes up a lot in the 8-episode season. After we get all our timelines in order, the two finally meet in a wholesome father-daughter sort of moment. So it does seem like having a family is as important for Geralt as it is for Yennefer. He just isn't openly trying to reverse his infertility like she is. Protecting Ciri from others, and herself, is a task even too big for Geralt to handle on his own. He'll be taking her to Cahir Morin, where he became a Witcher, in order for trustworthy allies to help with his destiny. In Cahir Morin, Ciri will be safe and can train under Vesemir, Geralt's old teacher and father figure. Only men can be Witchers though, so don't expect Ciri's eyes to go all yellow and her gain superhuman abilities. I would also keep your expectations low on ever seeing Geralt's mom show up again to explain why she had her child endure all the Witcher training, which can be described as mutating. The painful trials could have killed him, like the majority of the other children, all this just to have some professional monster hunters for hire. We should be seeing Geralt's iconic second sword this season that's coated in silver. The silver helps kill certain monsters, while his iron blade is for cutting down humans and whatever else you'd use a sword for. Geralt and Vesemir can help train sword fighting so Ciri can better defend herself against Nilfgaard, but Yennefer or other skilled magic users are going to be needed to instruct her on controlling her powers. Capturing Ciri for her potential seems to be as important to the Emperor of the Nilfgaardian Empire as conquering all the northern kingdoms. Please let's try not to spoil things from the books in the comments as to why Ciri is so sought after. The Emperor's men, including Cahir, probably aren't even informed. A princess of a former powerful kingdom is reason enough for most. There was this one really important scene to remember going into Season 2 that I wouldn't be surprised if many forgot. Vilgefortz, the sword-wielding mage, betrayed Yennefer and the rest of their sorcerer allies to seemingly join the side of Nilfgaard. Soon after his defeat to Cahir, he wakes up after hitting his head pretty hard from that cliff fall and attacks one of his fellow mages. This doesn't necessarily mean Vilgefortz will be joining Nilfgaard, but it does seem that way. Ironic because he was the one who tried so hard to get Yennefer to join their cause when the Brotherhood of Sorcerers were debating where to align. Yennefer being so powerful is starting to get the respect she deserves. There's a lot of nasty prejudice going on in this fantasy world against the elven race. It's become common knowledge that Yennefer is quarter elf from her mother's side in the books, and in the Netflix show it was changed to her real father's side. One of her unseen grandparents is a full-on elf. Elves have a pretty long lifespan, so if her grandma or grandpa hasn't been hunted down, they might look fairly young. Elves have had their people and communities completely destroyed when humans arrived on this continent, a trope we hear in a lot of fictional works. Humans suck. Geralt and all other Witchers have had to deal with some prejudice of their own. People view them as mutant freaks, fearing their superior combat abilities. Yennefer's non-magic using father treated her horribly because of her ancestry, along with her physical deformities. She had a rough start to her long life. You can't deny Yennefer's powers though, and she looks human enough. She'll always be desired. Tissaia, Yennefer's old teacher, was the only lead sorceress to want to get involved before Nilfgaard gets too powerful.
Since we're fools, who cares?
Most decided to remain neutral. Centra had always denied having a mage in their court, so many of their kind couldn't care less to see them fall. Nilfgaard has been recruiting mages for a while, and Fringilla seems to be in a powerful position now over at their army. She's completely convinced that with their new emperor, Nilfgaard has a chance to save the continent, claiming to be guided by something called the White Flame. It didn't seem clear in the first season, but the White Flame is another name for their new emperor. Many died in the season finale during the Battle of Sodden Hill, including mages. But Yennefer, Tissaia, Triss, Fringilla, Cahir, and Vilgefortz will return during the next 8 episodes of the second season. Ciri had a dream where Geralt and Tissaia are screaming out in search of Yennefer, so her powers have delved into prophetic dreams or visions. Ciri is aware of Yennefer, and in the last moments of the season finale, she asks Geralt,
"Who is Yennefer?"
Figuring out how much time has passed since the first season will probably be another game for viewers to play. The whole different timelines messing with us can't be done in the same matter. A few months or weeks time jump would be appropriate, but let's see what the writers come up with. If we get some more character out of Cahir, or finally see the mysterious emperor, it should make for a fun season. Now that Geralt and Ciri are together, we can delve a little deeper into Geralt's motivations. He's everything but what the populace believes. He's been traveling from kingdom to kingdom saving unappreciative people, but now he has a true purpose. Some cool action scenes with more fantastical creatures is to be expected though, if that's all you're looking for. It's not The Witcher without it, and that's the recap. I might check back in a few weeks when the season is out on Netflix, and share whatever I feel is important at the time, so I'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching.